you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for Kettle One, I don't settle for Goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunton loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything, everything. It's time for last call. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they'll be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my my favorite bourbon. Take two more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunson, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for Kettle One, I don't settle for Goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunson loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything. It's time for last call. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take two more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunson, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take two more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take two more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunson, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for Kettle One, I don't settle for Goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunson loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything. that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right, left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they'll be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
Hey, welcome Raiders. Last train to Friday. Hey y'all, come on in, grab a seat at the bar. I'm Lisa the X, aka Brown Whiskey Woman. For those of you that didn't know, one and the same. It is me, I am she, it is her, it is we. We're all the same person. What's smacking? How you crack-a-lacking? Hey DJ Mai Tai, hey DJ Diz, hey this girl Christina. It's funny seeing this whole first time Raider thing. Hey Papa These Nuts, this girl TV, Miss Tiff Star. I know, like I've elevated Miss Tiff Star, right? I've elevated. Yeah, who else is in here? C Love. Hey London, I didn't get a chance to say hey to you and to DK and to Stormy officially on the mic. How y'all doing? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Again, come on in and have a seat at the bar. Hey Miss Shelly, hey DJ LaFemme, the gym, which I love your name. I love that handle, by the way. Did I miss anybody else? Hey Guzzle, hey Chanel V. Who else? Hey Locke, hey C Sharp. Thank you for the gift sub. I appreciate it. Hey Lex, how you doing? Come on in, everybody. We are riding the last train to Friday. And again, Lisa the X, aka Brown Whiskey Woman. Hey, One Reason. So, hey, Psalmist. Long time no see, right? So listen, as y'all come in, right? I want to tell you I am live from Lock and Key Media Studios in the ATL, shawty. That's the result, this high quality setup, Tiff, Lock and Key Media Studios. He's the reason. He's the reason for the season. He's the reason why it looks this good. And hopefully, I'm looking slightly better. Maybe we need to pan the camera back a little bit, but hopefully I'm looking slightly better too. But anyway, welcome y'all. I'm so glad that you all have chosen to join me today. And thank you, C Sharp, for having me on the Last Train to Friday. Everybody throw up the Last Train to Friday emotes. Last Train to Friday, in case you did not know, is the longest running raid train on Twitch. Longest running, 3 years. This is year number 3 for it. And they definitely deserve to have those emotes thrown up. So you guys, please put the emotes up for Last Train to Friday. Let's show them some love because they deserve that to be the longest running raid train. So every show that I start off, and I know some of you all weren't here, this is your first time coming in and seeing me. I start off with a recap of what I did last week. So last week, my show was all about risk taking. So we had some questions that we asked. I tried a bunch of different whiskeys, so I took some risks. It was a whole bunch of risk-taking stuff going on. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank y'all for the hype train. I appreciate it. So I want to kind of recap with that. I want to start off with that. And I want to tell you all one of the really easy, simple things that we did last week to find out if you're a natural born risk taker. I want everybody to look at their hand, their dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to look at my right hand. And what you're looking for is to see if your ring finger, and this is your ring finger right here, that's it, the ring finger, is longer than your index finger or your pointer. If your ring finger is longer, that's what you're looking for. That means that you are a natural born risk taker, according to science. It means you got more testosterone in the womb. This is applicable to both men and women. So generally speaking, if that finger is longer, and don't count your fingernail, that means you're a natural born risk taker. So that was one of the things that we talked about. And then one of the other things that we talked about was I am curing my own whiskey in a mason jar. I'm taking a risk. So let me show you what it looks like. Hey, Chakra Ashram, how you doing? Okay, so someone says, that's me. I'm a risk taker. See, y'all are my people. Y'all are my people. Mine is too. My ring finger is longer. So supposedly that means that we're natural born risk takers. If they're about the same size, that's an indicator that you have more balance in your life. And if it's shorter, I guess that means you're not so much a risk taker. I guess that's what it means. And you can be a risk taker in some areas and not other areas. But anyway. Hey, DK, how you doing? You said, who else's finger is that long? Papa, what are you talking about? Anyway, so I was talking about the risk taking. Look what I'm doing. Look. I am curing my own whiskey. See, it says age your own whiskey on there. And look at the date. I started curing this September 15th, 2022. You said double. Okay, Papa, I'm not messing with you. So, how I'm curing this is what it started off. It started off clear. It was moonshine, basically. I put a clear liquor in here. And can you all see those blocks of wood? Those are pieces from a barrel. Those are staves from a barrel. The staves from the barrel are what give whiskey its flavor and its color. So this started off perfectly clear. I've been aging it. Tasted it after maybe about 10, 15 days. Tasted pretty damn good. Tasted it last week. Tasted even better. And I'm going to taste it again. For you all. I'm going to taste it. So first of all, when you smell something in the whiskey world, it's called nosing. So I'm going to nose it. Right out the mason jar. It got a kick. I already can tell you it's got a kick. So what I smell a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of like a hint of maybe chocolate in there. It has kind of a leather sort of textile type smell, if I could describe that. Something like that. Yeah. Hey, Tally the DJ, how you doing? So I'm going to pour a little bit up. And I'm going to taste it. So it cured a week longer than last week, right? So this is some brown whiskey woman whiskey. So you all have my cheers emote. That's a free emote for anybody in here. So let's put up the cheers emote. And I say cheers to Last Train to Friday, Women's History Month edition. Let's drink up. That is good. I have no idea what the proof is because I don't have the equipment to proof it. I have no clue. But it's strong, real strong. Gave me the Kentucky hug, which is that burn you get as it goes down the throat. That's what they call it officially, the Kentucky hug. So that was some brown whiskey woman whiskey. Cured in a mason jar. Anybody out there got a basement and some barrels and they want to let me, make some whiskey? Let me know. Whisper me. Call me. Hey, RL Breezy. How you doing? RL Breezy, were you in here when I was drinking my own whiskey here? This is it. Again, want to show it to you. That's some brown whiskey woman whiskey. There you go. That's what it looks like. And those are chunks of a barrel in there. And that's what ages the whiskey. So that was my risk-taking venture last week. Thank you for the bits, Miss Two Star. That was my risk-taking venture last week. But this week, we did a pivot. We did a little bit of a pivot. All right, so we were supposed to do Viewer's Choice, but I decided since I was on Last Train to Friday, we should do the Women's History Month edition, which I was going to do at the end of the month. So that's why we're doing that this week. Now, before I get into all of that, I want to encourage everybody in this room to please follow me on YouTube. Brown Whiskey Woman has a YouTube channel, and I'm trying to get that rolling. I'm actually live on YouTube right now. So I would really appreciate if you would go over to YouTube and follow me, but stay over here on Twitch and watch me. But please give me a follow on YouTube, Brown Whiskey Woman. Thank you, Locke, for putting that up. I really appreciate that. And it is pinned at the top too. I appreciate your following, your support there. So again, we did a pivot, Women's History Month, and we're going to do the Viewer's Choice at the end of the month. And Viewer's Choice is all about recipes that you all submit to me, things that you would like to see me make. Anybody in the room is welcome to whisper me and send me a recipe. Please keep it brown. That means rum, cognac, or whiskey of some sort, because I do not drink the clears. And I love y'all, but I'm not going to drink the clears on this show. It is the Brown Whiskey Woman show. So if you have a recipe that you want me to try out, send it to me, whisper it to me, and I will make it on the Viewer's Choice show. So we're here to celebrate Women's History Month. And I thought that I would start off. I have some videos for you guys. I have a slideshow, some more videos. I'm actually going to make a drink. I am going to make a cocktail for you and then talk about what I got coming up next. Hey, Big Stove, how you doing? Talk about what I got coming up next. And then we're going to get on out of here and we will be rating to DJ Mai Tai. But let's start talking about some facts, some discussion on women in whiskey, right? So let me read these facts to you guys because I found this to be really interesting. One thing that I really love about doing this show is how much I learn. And even though I'm an executive bourbon steward, and I guess, for those of you who don't know, that's a fancy name for a person who has actually studied the art of whiskey, bourbon specifically. I drank a lot of bourbon. I had to taste a lot of stuff. And then I had to take a test. And I had to pass the test with at least a 93% percentile. So I could not be drunk taking that test. So what I did was I tasted my stuff and then I dumped it into a cup because I was like, I just need a taste. I need to know what I need to know for this test, but I got to pass the test. So, hey, Keith, how you doing? So that was part of my experience. And I did travel to Kentucky for that, to Louisville, Kentucky. And I attended Moonshine University. Hell of a name, I know. But anyway, so these are some really interesting facts about women as it comes to whiskey. Women account for 30 to 40% of all whiskey sales, but they influence 85% of consumer purchasing. And the reason why is because women talk, other women listen, but so do everybody else. So does everybody else. Everybody else listens too. So I thought that was pretty fascinating because I didn't realize it was 30 to 40%, to be perfectly honest. So that was really interesting to me. Whiskey was the chosen remedy for most everything back in the day. American pregnant women dosed up on whiskey to ease the pain of childbirth and relax after labor until about 1973. 1973. And then they determined that there was something called fetal alcohol syndrome. So the alcohol would cause harm to the unborn child. But they used to drink it to ease the pain of childbirth and to relax after, all the way up until 1973. Some people probably say they still need it, right? Hey, Miss Riz. Hey, Natty. Yeah. Hey, Virgo. 919. That's my sis right there. How you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute, girl. How you been doing? So, I mean, I think that's kind of interesting that it took until 1973, I guess, for research to sort of put those two things together, that maybe it could be linked to birth defects or some other things that would have to do with deficiencies in terms of childbirth or the birth of the child. But yeah, it took them that long. But they used it for everything, for coughs, for colds, for flu. And I guess that's where the whole hot toddy thing comes from. And anybody who's ever been sick knows that hot toddies do actually work. They actually have some real moxie to them when you're not feeling good. Hey, DJ Molly Party, great set earlier. I was listening in and I enjoyed your set very much. So during Prohibition, this is another interesting fact. Women ran the show. It was said that female bootleggers outsold the men 5 sales to 1. 5 sales to 1. That's pretty profound. And I have a video that I'm going to show you all that's going to touch upon this a little bit. But I just think it's interesting, kind of the power of the women to outsell the men on the liquor. And like I said, the video is going to talk about that a little bit. It'll explain a little bit more about why that was. Probably the answer is kind of obvious because, come on, we women, right? We can sell stuff. We can sell stuff. So we're gonna watch that video in a minute. But did anybody in here, did you all know those things about kind of, women in whiskey? I found all of those to be interesting. I knew the one about Prohibition. I knew the one about the bootleggers. But I did not know the one about the 30 to 40% on the whiskey sales, but in influencing 85%. Didn't know that one. So that one was kind of news to me. So really interesting. So I have a video that I want to show you all. And the video is called Her Story because it is basically her story, her history. And I guess it's like a combination of those things. But it's going to tell you a little bit about how women fit into the whole whiskey world. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, 73. That is surprising. But let's take a look at that video.
Booze wouldn't exist without women. Or, as Bob Marley would put it, no woman, no dram. So why is the booze industry such a sausage party? This is a brief her story of women distillers, or as we call them, the Distilladies. Before we embark on the journey with female Walter Whites, Lady Escobars, and witch hunts, make sure you subscribe and click the bell button. Ready? All right. The distilling industry may not exist at all were it not for one incredibly smart woman. She lived around 2,000 years ago, and she was called Mary the Jewess. Now, Mary was a real Walter White of her time, except she tried to create gold instead of meth. In her alchemistic endeavors, she invented a 3-armed instrument called the tribicos that's still used in chemistry labs. Why is it important for our story? Because it's the granddaddy of a pot still, the essential apparatus for making whiskey. Fun fact, while most modern distilleries use steam to heat the still, Glenfiddich, Glenfarclas, and Macallan still use direct fire from beneath, basically following the design of Mary the Jewess. No Mary, no classic Scotch. Throughout most of history, it was rural women who distilled booze. Since it involved recipes, cooking, and waiting, it was considered a woman's job. But the shift eventually came, and it was ushered in by superstition and steam. Female pharmacists of medieval Europe, who distilled medicinal alcohol and concocted various remedies, had a very important role in the society. But when the Inquisition came unexpectedly, men decided that women who can conjure healing spirits were black magic witches, who had to be burned at the stake. 80,000 lady distillers met that fate. Oftentimes, a mere vial of spirit was evidence enough that they were dealing with a hex. That quickly pushed wise and competent women away from the craft. On the other side of the pond, however, distilling didn't mean you're a witch. It meant you're perfect to hitch. When 18th century guys courted the single ladies, hooch-making skills were almost required. And in more sketchy areas of society, they meant hard cash. Prostitutes were making and selling booze in addition to bosoms, and in New York alone, they saw an annual profit of $2 million during the 1850s. But when steam brought industrial revolution, booze making moved from homes to factories and suddenly became a man's job. Early 20th century was still a man's world, but it would be nothing without a woman. During the unholy period of Prohibition, cops weren't allowed to stop and frisk women, so mobsters took them along on their rum-running missions. Gertrude Cleo Lithgow even went solo. Hagan McTavish, a British liquor supplier who employed her as a stenographer, recognized her wits and sent her to the Bahamas to supply booze to America. With the perfect combination of wit, charm, and connections, she created a web of smugglers, bringing the best imports from all over the world to the dry American land. She was known as the Bahama Queen, and even befriended the fellow smuggler Bill McCoy, while managing to avoid jail multiple times. When someone talked trash about her merchandise, she pushed a pistol in his ribs and threatened to shoot him. Her slogan was, after all, "Everyone knows that my liquor is the very best." Fun fact, the Bahamas exported 12,000 gallons of liquor to the U.S. in 1917. But when Cleo took the reins, the number jumped to 250,000 gallons. Even though women have been crafting spirits for millennia, they were excluded for quite some time. Booze advertising towards women has only been legal in America since 1987, while the first TV ad ran deep into the 90s. But times, they are a-changin'. The last decade saw women become distillery founders, master distillers, master blenders, and brand ambassadors. Portland, Oregon boasts an all-female distillery, Freeland Spirits, while Isabelle Capri of Cognac Goutier created 2 cognacs that both became the best in their category in 2015. Oh, and science is on the ladies' side. Research shows they're more adept at identifying aromas and flavors since they have 50% more olfactory neurons than men. Seems like women really smell better. Cheers to all the female pioneers of booze. Here's to you, ladies.
So how about that? Pretty interesting, right? One thing that I learned in watching this video, I learned a lot watching this video, but one of the main things is I did not know that women actually smell better. I like that, like literally and figuratively, right? Because we just have more neurons and sensors to smell better. It makes sense to me, but it's pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting. I saw a question in the chat from, I think it was Shelly, but you were asking, did I know the story of Uncle Nearest? I am very much aware of the story of Uncle Nearest. For those of you who don't know, the short on that is Uncle Nearest is a slave who taught Jack Daniels how to distill. So Uncle Nearest, of course, is one of the best-selling whiskeys on the market currently. I do have a slideshow, and I actually have Fawn Weaver, who is the founder of Uncle Nearest, in the slideshow. So I am going to speak to that. So I hope that I answer that question. And if there are other questions, if you guys have other questions, please put them in the chat, and I am going to do my best to address those. And if I miss anything, then my mods will let me know that I missed it. Hey, LaWanda, how you doing? Somebody else came in here. Crazy Berry Town came in here too. Hey, friend, how you doing? And if I missed anybody else, forgive me, please. I'm trying to look and read and watch videos and all that stuff. Yes, Fawn. Fawn is incredible. And as I said, she is part of the slideshow. So in the slideshow, which is going to come up next, I have profiled 8 women in whiskey. And not all of them are necessarily into distillation. They're doing various things because I wanted to give you kind of a broad spectrum view of some of the jobs and some of the other things that women are doing in whiskey. So I would love for us to show the slideshow. Hey, Real Deal Holyfield. And I promise you, I'm actually going to make a drink today, y'all. Hey, Sandra Radiate. Thank you. Happy 28 months. I appreciate it very, very much. And hey, Retta Divine, how are you? I caught a little bit of your stream earlier as well. Retta was on the raid train with us earlier. She kicked it off. So the slideshow is called Women in Whiskey. So let's get going and talk about some of these women in whiskey. So, Fawn Weaver, you see that, Shelley? Fawn Weaver kicked right off with her. She is the founder and CEO of Uncle Nearest Whiskey, and she launched it in 2016 after she read the story of Nearest Green, who is the slave that taught Jack Daniel how to distill. And she decided it was time for the world to know Uncle Nearest's name, so she put in a lot of research. She actually purchased farmland that was owned by the gentleman who owned Uncle Nearest. That guy was a preacher, as a matter of fact. And that is where the Uncle Nearest distillery is being built. I think by now it has been completed. They were sourcing their whiskey, which means they get it from another source, bring it to their location, bottle it, and put the label on it. But they were actually building a distillery, and it may be complete by now. I visited a couple of years ago, and that is a picture of me and Fawn Weaver. And y'all see how I was grinning? Because I was happy. I was so excited to meet her and her husband, Keith. Uncle Nearest has won numerous American whiskey awards and medals, and is now available in all 50 states as well as a dozen countries. And Uncle Nearest really has put black whiskey in particular on the map. There are a lot of others, but they really put us out there. And so it will always have a really special place because we got a double minority working here, a black female. So this is wonderful. All right, let's see who else we got on here. So this is Jackie Zykan. She is a master taster at Old Forester. Old Forester is the first bourbon ever to be taken out of a barrel and put in a bottle. So she is a master taster, and a master taster is an individual that tastes the whiskey out of the barrels to determine what should be bottled. She also conducts master level training, and she leads the single barrel private selection program at the distillery. So some pretty major tasks there at Old Forester. So needless to say, Old Forester is the oldest because they were also the first. There's lots of disputes sometimes about, what whiskey came first and are we older? Is this one older? They're all pretty damn old for the most part. We got some new whiskeys out there, but most of the big dogs are pretty old. All right, let's see who else we got on here. So we have Karen, and I want to pronounce her name correctly. And if I mess it up, somebody help me. Karen Luna Ostaseski. I hope I said it correct. But she is one of the first Hispanic founders. She created her own brand of scotch in 2013. And for her story is really interesting. If you all get a chance to, check out some of these ladies and read their stories a little bit more in depth, because she talks about some of the hurdles she really had to overcome in order to get her brand launched. And she actually did a public GoFundMe, basically, to raise money to launch her brand. And I think that's pretty phenomenal. And she raised over $50,000 to get her brand started, because to start a whiskey business is not easy. Hey, Moni G, how you doing? All right, I'm ready for the next one. So this is Samara Rivers. She is the founder of the Black Bourbon Society, founded in 2017. She is a chief bourbon enthusiast, founder. She's an executive bourbon steward. She is a podcast co-host, and she's a writer for a magazine called Bourbon Zeppelin, which is very influential in the bourbon community. If you like whiskey, if you like bourbon, That's one of the big magazines that you would like to read or like to be a part of because it has such great information about things coming out new. And she is a writer for that. The Black Bourbon Society actually started right here in Atlanta. It's been going strong for a minute there. You see, founded in 2017. I am a part of the Black Bourbon Society, and they host a buble. I said buble, thinking about Michael Bublé, not him. They host a boule. I'm going to get it right. They host a boule around Labor Day in Kentucky every year. I think maybe they skipped a year or two during the pandemic, but they're back. It is my plan to attend this year in August. As I said, it's the end of August, trailing over into Labor Day. And they have all types of tasting events. They have classes, they have parties, they have private tours, all types of wonderful things happen during the boule. But then they do have local events where they have tastings and different things that you can come out and be part of the society for. There is a membership fee for you to join and be part of it, but it is a great, great organization. Yeah, Loretta, you know what? Retta, you can still join. Even though you're not here, you can still join and you can still, participate in some of the activities. So, it's not too late. Go to the website, check them out. I do have that information going through my stream elements about the Bourbon Society, what we're drinking today, and a couple of other things. So make sure you check it out. All right, next slide. So these three lovely ladies, Brandy Bowles, Kate Rosante, and Victoria Horn, they created a relatively new whiskey, 2022, called Boss Molly Bourbon. And Boss Molly is an old ranching term that means a stubborn female mule. She's the pack leader, might be a little bit bossy, but she gets the job done. And these three ladies were friends, had been friends for a long time, and they went on a trip together and they were playing poker. And they were just talking about whiskey generally and saying how most whiskey is a bunch of, old men on the bottles or created by old men. So they were like, what if we create something and we give it a name that's a little bit more feminine? And Boss Molly was also a historical figure. And that was something I found out as I researched this, that she was a ranch hand and she had her own cows and, her own animals, and she was known to be real tough, but she also dabbled in distillery. So she was distilling liquor and, making her own hooch too. So their name kind of has double meaning, with it being the stubborn female mule, but also an actual person. And that is on their website. So next slide. All right. This is Deanya Jones-Reed. She is the owner of Distilled. Distilled is a mobile boutique lifestyle and spirits company. So if you check out their website, you'll see that they have a range of services. You can you can hire a bartender through them. They do private events. They teach classes. They have tastings. There's a whole lot of stuff out there that they offer. And it's all mobile. They'll come to you, whatever you need. Also, she is one of the managing partners of Stillbacks. And Stillbacks is also another company that does bottling and distillation and a lot of different things. They have a lot of services that they offer. And then she does the Soul Palette podcast. So this was a person who I was not familiar with. I had not heard of her. So again, every time I do the research and I find out something new, it's a wonderful thing for me. Okay, next slide. This is Creola Dickerson of New Riff Distilling. I love this picture of this woman because, y'all, don't she look happy? She looked happy with that glass of whiskey in her hand. And she is the lead single barrel brand ambassador for New Riff Distilling in Newport, Kentucky. And she does have purple nail polish, one of my favorite colors, too. I just saw that. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. So, yeah, I just love this picture. I just absolutely love this picture of her. So if you want to know what single barrels, like again, a lot of terms, and you're like, what is that? What does that mean? A single barrel means all of the whiskey is poured from one barrel, because most of the time whiskey is blended for a consistent taste. But when you go to the liquor store and you buy a bottle of whiskey and it says single barrel, what that means is that all of that whiskey came from one barrel. So she would be the person, the brand ambassador, that would be promoting that. So brand ambassadors are basically like the face of the company. They go out and tell people, hey, I work for New Riff. These are the products that we offer. This is why you want our product in your restaurant or in your bar or in your retail area, whatever it is. They're basically like the salespeople. So I love that. You just bought a bottle of New Riff, Tally? Really? That is fantastic. See, I love it when you all come in here and you all have tried these things. I have not tried New Riff. I'm not versed on that one, so I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Dr. Dady Priest, how you doing today? Okay. All right. So I think that's our slideshow. Oh no, I have another person. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, how could I forget Becky? Y'all see that picture of me and Becky down there? I met Becky at World of Whiskey. So this is Catkin Creek. She is the co-founder of the distilling company. It's the first legal distillery in Loudoun County, Virginia since Prohibition. So she is the first female chief distiller in almost a century. So when I met her and I read that story, and World of Whiskey is like basically this huge event. They had it here in Atlanta. Shout out to K-Lock, my executive producer, for telling me about the event. It was here in the Buckhead area, and there were about 200, maybe 200 different companies represented. You pay a fee, you can go in, you can taste all of the whiskeys that they have available. And I met Becky there, and we took that picture. And again, as you can see, I was shitting and grinning because I was happy. I was happy to meet Becky. And I bought a bottle of the Catkin Creek while I was there. One of the gentlemen that was, just kind of in the crowd came up to me and he said, "Hey, you like rye whiskey?" I said, "Yeah, rye is my favorite." And he took my hand and he said, "Let me take you to the best rye in this whole place." And he took me over to Catkin Creek, took me to the booth. I met Becky. It was delicious. And I went out and bought like 2 bottles. I had to hunt it down, but I went out and bought 2 bottles. Hey, Coliso 6. Okay, yeah, you need to go to Virginia for some liquor. Most definitely. Okay, so that's our last slide. I don't know how I forgot about Becky. But again, I wanted to share that with you all because I wanted you all to see some of the things that women are doing in the liquor industry. And we're coming up in the liquor industry. We're coming up in whiskey in particular, but just liquor as a whole. Women are becoming a lot more involved. And of course, I love seeing that. When I went to my class at Moonshine University, which is not a division of DeVry Institute, just to let you all know, it's Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky. The class was maybe 50 people. There were 2 women and there were 2 African Americans. I can raise my hand on 2, right? Everybody else was a white male because generally whiskey is dominated by white males. That is usually the representation. So I'm really happy to see that changing. Now you all might wonder, is there an organization for women when it comes to bourbon? The answer to that is why, yes, there is. It is the Bourbon Woman Organization. So it's bourbonwomen.org. It's about whiskey education and industry trends, and it hosts the only female whiskey consumer conference. They have 16 branches. They do have one in Atlanta, and one in California, Chicago, and many other areas. So again, I am really, really happy to see that. Hey, Diva, be safe driving, but thank you for stopping in. Again, that I didn't know that they hosted the only female whiskey consumer conference. I knew of them I was aware of them. I'm not a part of that one yet, but I will be. But the only one. And it's called a symposium. So I like that play on words, a symposium. So they have their symposium at the end of August. So I guess August is a hot month to be drinking whiskey and going to boulets and all of that kind of stuff, right? I guess that's, yeah, one of those things. So yeah. You too, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate you. And thank you also, Sandra, for stopping in. You guys know I'm gonna go off topic for half a second, but I'm gonna come right back. The month of February, I do 29 gifts, which are random gifts. And it's about kindness. It's about just showing someone that, you know, you care about them. It can be a stranger. It can be directed. And during that 29 days, I also received some gifts. And I received a lovely gift from Sandra Radiate from our home city. We're both from Detroit, from Shinola. And if you all don't know about Shinola, please Google Shinola. They make fantastic watches, handbags, all types of leatherware. It's a great place. It's a place that employs people, really has helped bring Detroit back from where it was. I am very proud to be a Detroiter. And I know sometimes people have very negative things to say about Detroit, but I am very proud to be from Detroit. Detroit is a big part of who I am. It's a big part of music with Motown and all of those things. So don't discount it. I'll just say that. Hey, Lainey Star, how you doing? Going through Stream Elements since Lainey came in. Lainey has done some coloring books for children, and the links are in Stream Elements, so please support her. Lainey will probably be writing some children's books and some other books coming soon, but she started with the coloring books, and that information is going through Stream Elements, so make sure that you support her. Okay, Simmering Teapot. I love your name. Hello. How you doing? Welcome in. So good that you joined us. So glad to have you here. So y'all here. It's the Brown Whiskey Woman, and I'm gonna make a drink, right? Because we're in here, and I'll make a drink. Thank you, C Love. I appreciate you. What up, though? That's my Detroit homie. I'm gonna make a drink. So whenever I make drinks on this show, I want you all to be educated about what you're drinking. I want you to be educated about everything that you do in this life. One of the things that I say on this show all the time is that you need to do everything with intention. There should be a reason why you do it. There should be your reason. And I say your reason because sometimes other people have reasons for why they do things. And you think, well, that should be my reason too. No, your reason should be your reason. It should be about your intentions. So I am going to make a drink today, and I want to tell you about what we're drinking. So Simmering Teapot, you said, oh, you drink so much tea? You made it your name. Okay. I'm a tea drinker too. So yeah. Hey, Kelly, I missed you earlier. How you doing? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. You're right. It is. It's got a bad rap, but it's a beautiful city, especially in the summertime. Oh my God, the riverfront, the festivals on the riverfront. Detroit is beautiful. And right across the water is Canada, a whole nother country. Hey, anyway, enough said. So I want to talk to you about what we're drinking. And I chose what we're drinking tonight with a lot of intention and care. All right. So this is what we are drinking. This is what we are going to make our cocktail with. This is called Rabbit Hole Daringer. And I'm going to put on my glasses and read some details to you about it. Always read your bottle, because that is where you can get a good, maybe I would say 90% of information about what you're drinking. And then if you want to know more, use Google. Go to the website of the liquor that you're drinking. You can find out everything that you need to know there. You also can get some great recipes. The best recipes for whatever it is are always going to be on that liquor's website. So the reason why I chose this, hey Cruz, welcome in. Twofold. First of all, you're probably thinking, well, she didn't really talk about this. No, but the reason why I chose it is because the founder of this His wife's name is Heather, and she named the product because this gentleman was a psychoanalyst and a psychiatrist. That's what he did for a living. And he loved scotch. And she was from Kentucky. Heather was from Kentucky. So she was like, you got to try some bourbon. So he tried some bourbon and he liked it. And she was like, okay. So now what? So he said, what if we open a distillery? And she said to him, what kind of rabbit hole are you trying to take our family down? And he said, I like the name. So he chose that as the name for the product. Hence, we have Rabbit Hole out of Louisville, Kentucky. So that's the reason why I chose it. And their story, to go on the Rabbit Hole site and just kind of read it, is really phenomenal. It's really a love story and it's really beautiful. And so we are drinking Rabbit Hole. Now, the second reason why I chose this is because this was gifted to me from DJ C Sharp and Yo Yo Bebe. About maybe about 2 years ago, we got the opportunity to meet for dinner. They came to Atlanta for a visit. We both have children that aren't really children anymore, but they have a daughter and I have a son, same age. And both of our kids have autism. So we kind of bonded over that, and we have a lot of fun, a lot of discussion about our kids and kind of the challenges that come with it and some of the wonderful things about it as well. But they're one of my favorite couples. Now, we got some great couples on Twitch. So Kelly is here, Kelly Vision and Relly Rel. They just celebrated 25 years of wedded bliss. So put some hearts in the chat for them, first of all. Happy anniversary, Kelly. And Rel, if you lurking, happy anniversary to you too, because you part of it. And they have a really, really dope show on Twitch. So make sure that you follow them. But also Yo Yo Bebe and C Sharp on Sundays have a show that they do in the basement where they talk about various relationship things. They have like a little courthouse where they take stuff to court and, people talk about it. And so they're also one of my favorite couples. And I think it's just phenomenal to see couples, Black couples in particular, because a lot of times we don't get the opportunity to see that. We don't really get a chance to see that kind of represented in our communities. So I so much appreciate them, and put hearts in the chat for both of those couples, right? Okay, This Girl TV, you said you do a whiskey exchange for your birthday. Your friend also celebrated his birthday around the same time. Pick Rabbit Hole. Okay. And you picked Redbreast, 12 year. I've had Redbreast. Okay, very cool. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, Keith, you said you missed many football games because you rather chill with C Sharp and Yo Yo. Yeah. They have a great show. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to say this as my disclaimer. When we first got on Twitch, I've been on Twitch about 4 years, like a lot of us. I was on all day, every day in everybody's room. And then, of course, when outside opened up, I went back outside like a lot of us did. And I'm not on Twitch nearly as much as I used to be. And I also found that supporting everybody is really, really hard. But please know I am there in spirit with you. And I appreciate you all support here with me. But it's something. It's hard and it can be really expensive. But please know there are a lot of dope DJs, a lot of dope streamers. There are people doing all types of things on Twitch. If you can tab them up at least, or give them a lurk, or stop by every now and again and say hello, it means a lot to us as streamers, a whole lot. So yes, it takes a lot. And then for me, I had to just choose some days where I just take the day off from Twitch. I also mod. So a lot of times after I mod, I got to close Twitch down because I got stuff I got to do. I got a little dog and I got to see about my kids and my mom and my house and run the vacuum and just, drink whiskey and do shit. So yeah, all of that's got to happen. So anyway, getting back to the rabbit hole. I went down the rabbit hole, didn't I? So getting back to the rabbit hole. I'm going to start by reading the front of it. So it is straight bourbon whiskey. That means it was aged at least 2 years in the state of Kentucky. It is finished in a PX sherry cask. So what that means is they aged the whiskey, they took the whiskey out of the barrel that it was in, and they put it in a cask that previously held sherry for what they call a finish. So that adds some flavor to it. It is 46.5% alcohol by volume. So your alcohol by volume, if you double it, that's your proof. So the proof is 93. On the side, it says small batch. So technically, there's no real definition for what a small batch is at a distillery, because for some distilleries, that might mean 10 barrels. It might mean 100 barrels. There's not a legal definition for it as of yet, but it does mean that it wasn't like, 200, 300, 400 barrels that were made. It was a smaller quantity. It says twice finished in new toasted and charged, American oak barrels, and Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. Pedro Jimenez is a type of grape. It's very sweet. It says it's never chill filtered, as it should be. And then on the other side, it just says Rabbit Hole, established in 2012, Louisville, Kentucky. And it has the 2 rabbits on the side. And that's it. That's what the bottle looks like. And then on top, it just has the little tag that has 25 best bourbons of the 21st century by the Robb Report, which actually rates whiskey. And then they just have like a scan code and some different things that takes you directly to their website. So you all can see that. So I'm going to make a cocktail with it. Hey, DJ Malachi, how you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, Kelly, supporting everyone is very expensive of your time and your money. And think about this, your time you can't ever get back. You can always make more money, but your time you can't ever get back. So you have to think about sometimes what's the most effective use of my time. And it's not that you don't want to support everybody, but you do have to do things, Like I said, I got to read about whiskey so I can be ready for the show. I got to go out to the liquor store and buy whiskey so I can be ready for the show, as well as all the other stuff that I need. So it's important that we get out, right, and do other things. So we're going to make a cocktail. This cocktail is called a Blackberry Pom Daringer Cocktail. One thing that I do want to point out on this bottle, before we get away from it, you notice it's Daringer, which you think about like the gun, the Daringer. It's spelled a little bit different. It's spelled like Daringer. So I went and I actually saw a whiskey review on YouTube by one of my friends. His name is Don, and he and his wife actually own a tequila company, and it's called Teak Life. But that's what the podcast is called. But anyway, on there, he was talking about Daringer. And so the gentleman that he was talking to was from Rabbit Hole. And he said he kind of thought that maybe the spelling, the unique spelling, came from the fact that she dared him, his wife Heather, dared him to go down the rabbit hole, and she's his ringer. And I kind of like that. I don't know. I like that. So there was a question in the chat. Somebody asked, Kelly asked, how many bottles do I own? Oof, Kelly. I don't know. I'm going to say over 100, maybe 200. I own a lot of bottles. And of course, some of it, I'm drinking and replenishing because I have favorites, And then for the show, of course, I have a lot of things that I buy and I'm trying it for the show. Now, what I tell people is if you want to try something, buy a miniature. If it comes in a miniature, buy a miniature so that you don't spend money on a large bottle of something you may or may not like if you're trying something out. So last week when I did the whole risk-taking thing, I tried a whole bunch of miniatures, right? So that's a good way to experiment, or get like a pint or a half pint or something of that nature. And that can be, a way for you to try something and not spend a whole bunch of money, because liquor ain't cheap, y'all. It's not. You're going to spend anywhere between about $30 up. And up is usually more like it. And when I say that, like your top shelf liquors, they're going to be like $50, $60, $70, $80 and up. Your mid-level things will be about $30, maybe $30 to $40. And then you have like bottom shelf. Your bottom shelf stuff is going to be your cheap stuff. So that might be like $20. Now, let me say this. Just because it's on the bottom shelf doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it tastes bad, because there's a lot of stuff on the bottom shelf that tastes great. And they're good, solid whiskeys. Now, for clarification, whiskey is a category, and underneath that category, you have bourbon, you have Japanese whiskey, Canadian whiskey, moonshine, and you have scotch. All of those fall underneath that category. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So think about whiskey is like an automobile, and then you have all these different kinds of automobiles underneath that category. So again, we're going to make this drink. It's called a Blackberry Pom Daringer Cocktail. Now, I had to do a little, what I call Food Network prep on this drink. So I want to tell you a little bit about the prep that I had to do to make this drink. So I'm going to read the ingredients, and this is on the Rabbit Hole site. So if you're interested in this recipe, go to the Rabbit Hole site. That is streaming through Stream Elements. But just go to rabbithole.com and you're going to find it there. So this is the description. First of all, I want to read you the description, because this description, it sounded good as hell to me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to make this on the show. This sounds good. It says, sweet and seductive. This Daringer cocktail is made for lovers. Dark and sweet, this blackberry pomegranate infused cocktail features Daringer, which brings hints of rich cherry, smooth vanilla, and spiced currants. This unique symphony of flavors will leave the senses stimulated and satisfied. A cocktail designed to be made with someone you adore. How about that? Don't that shit sound good? Didn't that sound romantic? Like, I mean, if I had like one of those, types of voices, one of those, like Kelly kind of got that, that soft, sexy kind of voice, that, and I read that. Wouldn't that sound good? Maybe I need to have Kelly, like, do a drop or something for me. But anyway, so let me tell you the ingredients. I had to modify this, okay? This is how the recipe is going to show for you, but I modified the recipe to make one drink. It makes 4 drinks. So it's 10 ounces of Daringer bourbon, 1 cup of fresh blackberries, 2 fresh rosemary sprigs, enough ice to fill 4 rocks glasses, 1 1/4 cups of filtered spring water, 16 ounces of pure pomegranate juice, and 3/4 cups of granulated white sugar. Okay, 3/4 cup granulated white sugar. I don't know why I'm having problems with that. Granulated white sugar. I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to say that. But anyway, those are the ingredients. Okay, so the prep came in because you're making a syrup. All right, so the syrup is called Blackberry Simple Syrup. So that is blackberries, sugar, and water. And I had to heat that up in a saucepan over medium heat for about 15 minutes. And then it says reduce the heat if the mixture starts to boil. You remove it from the heat, you let it cool for about 10 minutes, and then you pour it through a mesh strainer into a mason jar. So that's what I did. And that's what it looks like. So I did that this morning before I came over to do the show. And then I put it in the fridge. So that was the Blackberry Simple Syrup. Now, a lot of simple syrups you can buy. Just a basic simple syrup, you can buy it at Walmart. It's a couple of dollars in Walmart. But simple syrup is always sugar and water. So what made this blackberry was the blackberries. So there you go. But it's really, really easy to make. You can do that ahead of time, and then you can just store that. And like I have plenty of it. This again would be enough for 4 drinks, but I'm only going to make 1 drink because it's just one of me. It's just me, just one of me. Cause Locke, he doesn't drink, so he not gonna get any. Hey, Funk Lord, how you doing? No, I did not have to muddle the berries. I just had to boil the berries this time. I boiled them on the stove. I didn't have to muddle them. So no, there was no muddling of berries this time. Only boiling of berries. That's what I had to do. All right, so I made my simple syrup and I modified the recipe so that I could just make it for one person. So I'm going to start off with my cocktail shaker. So this is just a basic bar shaker. And I am going to put some ice in it because I want it to be nice and cold. So I'm going to put a couple of cubes in there. And then it says I add my Pom. Well, it says my pomegranate juice, but I have Pom. Pom is like the only pomegranate juice I know of, really. I mean, I guess there's others, but I don't know about them. So I'm just going with the Pom. So since I modified this to me for one drink, I'm going to put 2.5 ounces. So I'm going to use my jigger. If you have a jigger, this will come with a basic bar set. The top part of the jigger is 1 ounce. The smaller part of the jigger is a 1/2 ounce. Now, if you don't have a jigger, don't sweat it. Just use a measuring cup or a measuring glass. That'll work too. Doesn't really matter. But I'm going to use my jigger because, you know, I'm trying to impress y'all and be fancy and shit. So, yeah. Okay. So, I got my Pom ready. But I'm going to start off with my bourbon. And you know what? Even though I've tasted this before, because I say this all the time, if you want to know what something tastes like, taste it neat. So I'm just going to pour a little bit. Put it to the side. I'm going to nose it. What does it smell like? I definitely smell the grapes. I smell the sweetness of the grapes. That's the first thing that really kind of greets me. I smell a little bit of chocolate, and I would say grape cherry chocolate. That's kind of what I'm getting as my primary sense. And then I'm going to taste it. So this will be called a pour because I'm just pouring a little bit and I'm going to taste it. Now, I already knew it was good. It's very, very smooth, but it definitely has a whiskey kick. So I'm saying that because even though it was cured in this sherry cask, it was finished, it does soften out the edges just a little bit of it. It's not as harsh, but it's whiskey. No doubt about it. It's whiskey. I got that Kentucky hug going down the throat. I can feel that little burn. It's there. All right. So if you're tasting, that's the first way that you taste. If you want to open up the flavors a little bit, you add a little room temperature water. That's going to kind of soften it up a little bit, but it's also going to open up the flavors. And when they say open up the flavors, they become more distinct. You can really taste them. If you add ice to your drink, it closes down the flavors, which means it kind of freezes it right where it is. But most people don't want room temperature drinks. We want cold drinks. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, so now I am going to do my measurements here. So 2.5 ounces. So this is my 1 ounce. Hey, Neek, how you doing? Did you come in earlier? Or am I just... Okay. 2. And then I'm going to do my half. And then the next thing is 4 ounces of pomegranate juice. So I am not going to use my jigger for that. And by the way, I always like to look at it and tell you, it has a real cork. A lot of them have plastic corks because it's more cost efficient, but this does have a real cork. And a lot of people in the liquor world would tell you that's a sign of quality. I can't say I necessarily agree with that because I do get, for economical reasons, having a plastic cork. But when you do have a real cork, what happens is if you don't rotate your bottles, and when I say rotate the bottles, you would want to store the bottle on the side so that the cork would get moist. I said moist. Otherwise, the cork will just break off and float into your beverage, and you really don't want that. So keep that in mind when you're storing your whiskey. You do want to store it sideways, or at least you want to rotate your bottles from time to time, because most of the time people store their bottles upright. They're not storing it like wine. But like when I was asked how many bottles I have, I do actually rotate the bottles and I'll tilt them. I'll look on the shelf, kind of see what I have. So, hey, Vansdale, thank you so much for the bits. Appreciate it. So I'm going to put the rabbit hole over there to the side, continue with the recipe. So the next thing is 4 ounces of the pomegranate juice. So as I said, I'm going to use my measuring cup for that because I just don't feel like doing all of the, doing the jigger over and over again. So I'm going to just pour it up. And I happen to know that 4 ounces is right at the top. I don't even need my glasses for that. Thank you for the bits, Big Stove. I appreciate you. And I'm going to pour that in. And then 4 ounces of my blackberry simple syrup that I made. And I'm going to try real hard not to make a mess here. I don't want to get kicked out. That smells so good. Very pleasant. And look at these blackberries I found. Don't those look good? And they're not organic or anything. At least I don't think they are. No, they just say Sweet Caroline Alpine Fresh. Just bought these at my local store. I just thought they looked so delicious. And when I tasted them, they were so sweet. Now, you don't have to add ice in your shaker. It's totally up to you. You can just put ice in your glass. But I like for my cocktails to get chilled. Hey, Fudge, how you doing? That's like important to me, but you don't have to do that. And if you're following a recipe, it may say add ice to the shaker. It may not say add ice to the shaker. It may just tell you to add it to your glass. I'm actually going to do a little bit of both. So I'm going to put a cube or 2. I'm going to say 2 in my glass. And then I'm going to shake it up. So about a good 30-second shake. Generally, I would shake until I see the condensation around the side of the shaker. That lets me know I probably have a good mix on it. A bartender might tell you something different. I am not a bartender, and I do not pretend to be one, and I don't play one on TV. And then I'm going to pour that up. Looks lovely. And then we're going to talk about some garnishes. So the recipe calls for some rosemary. So this is organic rosemary. I didn't know it was organic when I bought it, but this is rosemary. And what it tells you to do is to actually light the rosemary on fire. We're going to see how that's going to work out. I'm going to take a long sprig, okay, because I don't know about this. A lot of times when it tells me to do stuff like this, I try it out at home first. I didn't. Y'all seeing this live in person, so. And there go the lights. Y'all, I can't make it through a show without the lights going off on me. I cannot. Okay, and if you sub to me, you have the light emote, just turn off the lights on me too, since he did. Yeah. Fire Marshal Bill cometh. Woo, okay, I almost made it, Lord. I just got hot. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to get my Muffaloo for the King fan. I was not prepared. There we go. Woo! Nobody fan like Muffaloo for the King with the funeral home on the back. Nobody. This is the Ritchie Funeral Home in Asheville, South Carolina. Woo. Okay. I just had a flash. All right. Okay, I'm about to light it up though. We're about to see how this gonna go. Nick said, clap on, clap off. So this is rosemary. So what I'm thinking, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know. Okay, I might be totally making this up. So y'all just rock with me, roll with me. What I'm thinking is when I light this on fire and drop it in a drink, because it is rosemary, it's gonna give it like a little smoke or charred taste. Oh my gosh, Natty, thank you so much for the subs. I appreciate you. But I don't know. And listen, we got an ice bucket over here. If y'all see me drop, let me put this ice bucket over here. We about to be ready. Let me move the paper, because I don't want no mishaps. I'm not trying to get kicked out of my real good liquor spot here. Okay? I am not. All right. So let me put some stuff to the side here. All right. So here we go. We're gonna be prepared in case this see the stuff I do for y'all. I'm gonna just say. So I'm gonna light this on fire, and then I'm gonna drop this in this drink. Okay. If not, it's gonna be dropped in this bucket. So here we go. Okay. It's not even catching on fire. I guess I'm just supposed to char it. Okay. I am disappointed. I was ready for some excitement. Okay, I guess I'm just supposed to char this a little bit. I don't know. See, they fooled me. Okay, my lighter don't want to work. It didn't want to catch on fire. It did not want me to catch this on fire. Okay. Okay. Anyway, we're going to pretend like that caught on fire. All right. How about that? Unless Lot got a lighter. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We're going to see if we can put our hands on a lighter and see. Thank you. But maybe it's not supposed to like really catch on fire. Maybe it's just supposed to roast. There we go. We got to get burn on it though. So there we go. So it doesn't really catch on fire. So that's, education for me. It just kind of chars it a little bit. And again, I'm thinking this is going to give it like a smoke taste. And then we're going to drop it in there for a little garnish. And I'm going to put the lighter over there to the side. Thank you, anonymous gifter. I appreciate you. And then we're going to do a little garnish. And I'm going to tell you all, I'm not huge on garnishes. I mean, garnishes make drinks look pretty. And if I'm preparing a drink, like if you come over to my house or if it's some type of brown whiskey woman cocktail party or some social thing, I will give you the fancy garnishes and all of that fancy shit. And it'll look all cute. And y'all will be like, ha ha, kiki, ha, that's nice. But at home, I'll be like, whatever, to a garnish. But anyway, got our rosemary sprig in there. And then I have some pre-cut oranges because I thought that would make it look pretty. So there's our finished product. That is in a brown whiskey woman glass right there. That is our Blackberry Pom Daringer Cocktail. So I'm going to taste it. Let's see. Let's see what it tastes like. And I'm going to take that orange off. Ooh, this is good. Okay, and the rosemary, the charred rosemary, I can actually taste that. It did add a little smoke flavor to it. So I see why they gave it to me as a garnish. I can taste that. This is very, very smooth. I can taste the distinctive flavors. I taste the blackberry. I can taste, I definitely can taste the whiskey. I can taste kind of that sherry finish. I can taste everything. I can taste the pomegranate. I can taste the rosemary sprig. Everything has a very distinct flavor, which means this is a very well-balanced cocktail. That's basically what it means. So yeah. Hey, Brown Eyes, how you doing? This is good. So on a scale from 1 to 5, I always rate on a scale from 1 to 5. Drop that orange in there. I'm going to give that a 5. Very, very smooth. The blackberry and the pomegranate together almost creates like a cherry flavor to it slightly, which is great for me because I'm allergic to cherries. But I'm kind of getting the robustness of cherry, but it's with blackberries and with the pomegranate. And the pomegranate is not overpowering because sometimes pomegranate can be really, really strong because this is 100% pomegranate juice. And you know, it can have like a bitterness to it. So Kelly asked if I was posting the recipe. It is on the Rabbit Hole site. If you go to the Rabbit Hole site, and that is going through Stream Elements, the recipe is there. And it is called a Blackberry Pom Daringer Cocktail. If you all want to whisper me and you want the exact name of it, I am happy to give you that. You can whisper me either at Brown Whiskey Woman or Lisa the X. I will tell you, I respond to Lisa the X a lot faster because that's usually how I'm on Twitch. Hey, the Hype Girls United. How you doing? I know who you all are. How you doing? So yes, but very, very good. I like it. And actually, I dropped the orange in there because I'm thinking once that orange soaks in that a little bit, that's going to be really good. I'm really impressed at how much I can taste the rosemary because I was, you all know I was real apprehensive with this lighter and lighting it on fire and all of that. It's good. It really, really adds something to it. Not to mention, I can smell the rosemary. So, you know, a lot of what you're tasting when you're drinking something is what you smell as well. Those two things go hand in hand. So, one of the things that's said on the site is that it would be very well paired with chocolate. So, what do I have? Chocolate. And I have what I deem to be the best chocolate ever. This is Ghirardelli. This is dark chocolate. So, a lot of people say Godiva is one of the top chocolates. And Godiva is good, don't get me wrong. But I also bake. Ghirardelli. This is the one, y'all. This is the shit. This is the one that you want. Okay, for baking. I think just in terms of having chocolate, or if you were going to buy somebody some chocolates, this is the one. This is the one that you want to have. So I can see this very well paired. So I'm going to take a little bit of the chocolate. That was hard. And then I'm going to sip some of the drink. The two pair together very well. And it does give it a different flavor. Hey, Blue Majesty. How you doing? I got an extra piece for him. Blue Majesty said, don't leave that chocolate in here with Lot for his extreme sweet tooth. But it does give it a different flavor, having the chocolate, tasting it, and then the drink afterwards. So different things will give your drink nuances. And chocolate is one thing that pairs very well with whiskey. And it's not something that people really think about. Dark chocolate and milk chocolate, actually both. But dark chocolate does have a little bit of a bitterness to it that can pair very well with whiskey, even straight. Hey, Rel, how you doing? Yeah, get some chocolates, Rel. That's the thing. And do a mix, like the milk chocolate, do the dark chocolate. Try some different things. And the thing I really want to tell you all about just whiskey, period. Hey, Prodigy. Do not, this is with a capital D, capital O, capital N, capital O, capital T. Do not let other people tell you how to drink your whiskey. You like what you like. Drink it the way you want to drink it, because whiskey is a very, very personal thing. And the way I like my whiskey might not be the way that you like yours. And no one way is better than the other. It's all about what you like. That's really, really important. And, you know, one thing about kind of being in the whiskey world and being an executive bourbon steward, a lot of times people would try to tell you, you know, well, you shouldn't drink your whiskey like that. You should drink it neat, or you should do this, or you're diluting it by doing these cocktails. I'm going to drink what the hell I like to drink. And I'm going to tell y'all, you drink what the hell you like to drink. Try some cocktails. Try some different things. Try some different whiskeys. Try some bourbon. Try some scotch. Drink some moonshine. Do some of the Japanese whiskeys. Do the Canadian whiskeys. There is so much out there for you to experiment with. I do say try it neat first, then do a cocktail or add to it. If you like pineapple juice, add pineapple juice to it. Drink what you like. And please don't let anybody whiskey snob you or whiskey shame you into drinking something else. Okay, so we have a video that I want to show you guys. Yes, take risks. That is hilarious with some grandmas. And I do want to roll that, and then I want to tell you guys what I got coming up next, and then we're going to get ready to get out of here. So, yes, let's take a look at that video. I hope y'all get a kick out of this like I did.
I will admit I probably have something to drink every day because I like a glass of wine. But harder drinks, it's usually on the party mood, going out to dinner, or it's part of my life, for sure.
Well, I don't drink that much. I used to drink a lot, but I guess sometimes holidays and stuff, a little drink here and there, but not excessive drinking. Yeah.
I love parties. I like parties. Been to a lot of exciting parties. During the Olympics, I had the entire Spanish yachting team for a big party in the backyard. That was really fun. Spaniards, you know, ay, ay, ay.
I don't really drink.
No.
No.
Did
when I was younger.
Oh.
What's your favorite drink, or what used to be your favorite drink?
I used to drink scotch and water.
Vodka martini.
Favorite drink is Zinfandel wine, or vodka and tonic on the other side.
Okay. How about you?
My favorite now is Malbec. The moment of truth is arriving.
What do you
I didn't
think
bring
it
my
is?
glasses here.
Oh, tell you, it says ignite the night. What you hear is smooth whiskey with a fiery kick of red hot cinnamon. Oh, tastes like heaven, burns like hell. What happens next is up to you.
Well, I like cinnamon. I don't know about the burning
Wow.
like hell part.
Well, you're gonna burn it. You want to try it, Ari?
It's a good indication.
Oh yes, look at that label.
You can pour.
Then you can say there's a hole in the middle. Okay, I will pour, yes.
Here, I'll give you your swig first, Ari.
No, easy
What
on
do you
it.
mean easy? I haven't even poured it yet. Just
No,
take,
not
All
that
right,
much.
take a shot.
No, that's enough.
Is that enough?
Oh, yes.
Let me take
I'm
a
not going to
look.
take that much.
Well, take a drip and take it.
Here, I'll
Okay.
give you some of mine.
No,
you
no,
took more.
I don't want it. Just
You
this.
poured more in mine
Well,
than you did
yeah,
in
you
yours.
get drunk first.
Well, my sniffer might have gone because I don't smell anything too strong. Quite
It has a
pleasant.
distinct smell, actually. Maybe it's the balls.
Sure, dearie. Not bad. It is hot.
Cheers.
My God.
Very fiery. Woo! Cinnamon. It kind of tastes like a medicine type thing. Like a cinnamon hot medicine going down.
That'll warm your belly, that's for sure. Gosh. Woo. That's, actually, it tastes very nice.
Try it.
I'm scared
Oh, for
now with
God's
all
sake.
that. It smells good.
It does. It's a little too hot for me, but what do you think? It's soothing. It's kind of soothing. A little bit.
Skål.
It's gone.
Hua Besse. Ay, ay, ay.
It does,
That
doesn't
is
it?
mighty impressive.
It's actually good.
That's what I said. It's not bad.
You like it?
I like cinnamon, yeah.
I like the cinnamon flavor also.
I could get to like this.
Yes. Shall we do? Dingeling? There wasn't much
I don't
left
think
of
I could
mine.
do that big gulp. I'd have to take in dainty little sips. Too much, and I
I think we have to go out and dance now.
Big ball going all the way down.
Ignite the night. Mm-hmm. I don't have a date.
No, neither do I.
What a waste.
Oh well, I can't be affected by that little sip.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want any more? You're welcome to have more if you want more.
No, this just.
Yeah,
just
I'll
fine.
take one more.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not difficult to please.
No.
I'm not easy either.
Do y'all not love them? I absolutely love them. And y'all see, I got busy. They was drinking and I was drinking too. And Natty named them, what'd you name them? Natty, Marilyn, and Marilyn and Myrtle. There was two names. I love that video. I absolutely love it. When I found that, I was like, that's the one right there. So real quick, we have one other video really short, and I want to show you guys this because I feel like this video is so stereotypical about what people often, what women often think about whiskey and what people often think women would be like when they drink whiskey. So let's take a look at that real quick, and then we'll get out of here in just a few minutes because this one's funny too. Grandmas take the cake, though.
What was the second part? I'm drunk.
I don't know anything about whiskey.
I'm not really the alcohol type.
Might cry.
I hear it's disgusting.
And then I think I'm gonna throw up for like an hour afterward. This is a Jack Daniel's Tennessee Sour Mash. Sour and mash don't sound appealing to me.
It's a cute design.
I feel like this is a good brand. I don't know.
I feel like this is like a man's drink.
Because people talk about it a lot, I have high expectations for this one.
Is that enough?
It's gonna get me fucked up.
So gross.
It smells like an old man, like really strong grandpa. It was so horrible.
It has an awful aftertaste.
It's like really old apple juice.
It went down pretty smooth though.
Not as bad as vodka.
Well, I would take whiskey over vodka any day.
Something to it, Jack Daniel's.
That being said, I can feel it burning in my stomach right now.
Yeah, I'm glad that I did it because I actually think, because sometimes I would like to be drunk, you know. I think if I had to do it, I would maybe do whiskey followed only by ginger ale. I don't want to peer pressure people into trying whiskey because that's not the sort of person I want to be, but do it. I think it's better than other things. But, you know, hold a glass of water and tell people it's vodka. That's what I do.
Really strong apple juice, right? Anyway, so I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in, for following the Raid Train, for tuning in to me. I love each and every one of you. I thank you so much for being here. Go out, drink some whiskey, try some stuff, take some risks. This is drink number 2 for me. And yeah, this is a good ass drink. I will be back next Thursday. It will be my St. Patrick's Day show, and I will be talking about Irish whiskey. My show all is about whiskey edutainment. See, I'm not drunk, I promise. Whiskey edutainment and fun and antics, and we cuss and talk shit and just do 8th grade stuff. So let's get out of here. We are about to go over to DJ Mai Tai. Please stay for the raid. Love y'all. Bye.
My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old fashioned? in the rain in Manhattan. Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right.